Botany Manor is a cosy exploration puzzle game where you play as Arabella Greene, a retired botanist who's cultivating her collection of flora inside her extravagant manor. Throughout the game, we learn that Arabella had a successful career as a botanist and is now back at her estate to collect rare plants that require research to bring back to life. In this game, you'll explore Arabella's beautiful manor, searching for clues to revive these rare and mysterious plants. As I began the game, I was given a quick introduction to the controls before focusing my attention on the environment. Instantly, I love this aesthetic, as well as the location choice being Somerset. I'm a little biased as I visited Somerset a few times and I absolutely love it there. I was then introduced to Arabella's work in progress book, which will be a key part of this game. The book also showed me the map that I'll be needing to help me navigate this huge manor. After short introductions, I headed into the first and very smoggy area, which began the first chapter. I had to grow a windmill wort and find 3 clues to help me fill out the information for my book. I searched around and gathered clues, making sure to read each thing I picked up as it helped me put 2 and 2 together. This letter from Marianne was super helpful as it told me that the plant grows in Sicily and has air purifying qualities with strict temperature requirements. After finding a sheet about ideal soil temperatures and a sheet about wildflowers, I had the evidence I needed to plant the windmill wort, and look at it, you guys, it looks so pretty. Watching the first page fill out was incredibly satisfying, and I'm looking forward to filling out the rest of this book. After leaving my no longer smoggy greenhouse, I ventured into the huge outdoor area of my estate, and you guys, I absolutely love the design and aesthetics of this game. Paired with the beautiful music, I was in awe of what was on my TV. I spent a little while just walking around and familiarising myself with the outdoor area before coming across my absolutely huge mansion, like old to be a lady living in a decade-old, probably haunted mansion in Somerset. Whatever core this is, I'm here for it. I headed to the porch area of the mansion to find another potting area and a small side room where I could sit. There's a sitting feature in this game. I love it, and you'll see how often I use this feature throughout the game because it's a great way to just take a moment and admire the beauty around me. Once I entered inside the mansion, the second chapter of the story began. 2 new plants were added, the Fulguria, which I have definitely not pronounced right, and the ash plume. I started searching the area for clues, including a poster for Dartmoor, which got me really excited since I've been there before and I absolutely loved it. While searching the first floor of the mansion, I came across a range of clues that I figured were linked to the Fulguria plant. A very sciencey area, way beyond my intelligence, information about photography with a flash lamp, and a slightly threatening letter from my annoyed neighbour complaining about said flash photography. I was a little confused at this point. I was trying to get the flash photography to do its thing, and unfortunately I hadn't quite got the hang of it yet. But after heading back to the hallway and adding a photograph as a clue, it revealed more to me about the Fulguria. After finally putting 2 and 2 together, I realised I needed to use Arabella's science station to create the combination that matched the flash powder. This was potassium and magnesium. After combining them in the test tube, I took them to the flash photography area, placed the potted Fulguria seed in front of the camera, and bam, just like that, we've got a Fulguria plant. Next, I ventured into the kitchen, and this setting is by far one of my favourites so far. I love the crackling of the fire and the general aesthetic of the place. After picking up a letter about Dartmoor lectures and an extremely insane letter from the University College of London, like what the hell, I was actually in shock at this. Your hobby? Like what? That's crazy to me. Anyways, I kept picking up clues about the ash plume until I'd gathered all of the evidence I needed. To grow the ash plume, I needed to dabble in a bit of pyromancy and put it above the fire to sprout the plant. Afterwards, it needed to be in a smokery with cherry wood logs to make the plant flower. And finally, after not really knowing what to do, I'd finally figured it out and was able to move on to the next chapter. I will say in this moment that I tried my hardest not to Google anything. I wanted to figure out as much as I could by myself, but listen, sometimes I was playing this after a long day of work and I got impatient and I just wanted to figure out the task, but anyways, we had our first gatehouse delivery, which was exciting, so I walked along with this beautiful upbeat music to the gatehouse to find a key to the orchard. And just like that, I was on to chapter 3, Peculiar Petals. Now this is definitely the trickiest chapter so far. I did resort to googling the first plant after wandering around for a while. I'm sorry, I know, but I was tired from work and I didn't want to spend too much time on this. but I did wander around every possible area and collected clues before Googling, just to see if I was anywhere near with my guesses on how to grow the plants. After having a little sit down, the first seeds that I collected were for a wolf-glove plant. After gathering the clues, I figured it needs to be grown in an environment that simulates a mountainous area with a great height and high wind speed, but I was a little unsure of how to gather the correct clues. One thing I did come across while searching for clues were priest holes, hidden among households to protect priests during a period of Catholic persecution. Unfortunately, they were unable to find a priest hole in my mansion, but I have a sneaky suspicion that there is definitely one hidden somewhere. After testing out the wind tower and discovering I'm unable to reach the downstairs area of my orangery, I was a little confused about where to go next, so with a little help from Google, I found out how to get into the secret priest hole in my mansion. There's no way I would have been able to figure this out myself, but basically I had to use my scales to make the year 1593, which was the year that the mansion was constructed. This opened up a secret passageway that took me to the priest hole, and it was a little creepy actually. I'm such a coward with anything remotely scary, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I was worried about being jump scared in Botany Manor, but that just sums me up as a person. I'm in a constant state of feeling like I'm going to be scared by something. I hope I'm not alone in this. Let's rally up all the easily scared girlies so that I don't feel alone. Anyways, once I'd made it into the priest hole, I was able to get to the bottom floor of my orangery, and thankfully the wolf-glove seeds were here. I repaired the staircase and searched the room for clues. Hey, it's Editing Quiet Fairy here. Just a quick disclaimer. There's a bit of a time jump right now. From this point onwards, everything has been filmed and recorded a long time after I began the initial gameplay of this. I don't really have an excuse for it. I've still been playing video games, but because my 9-to-5 job involves me spending quite a lot of time on YouTube and on my laptop, I had a bit of burnout and struggled to find the motivation to record and do YouTube stuff, basically. So that's why there's been a big time jump in recording. I hope the time gap isn't too noticeable. Maybe it isn't, and I could have got away with saying nothing and acting like everything is normal, but I wanted to add this little disclaimer just in case. Okay, bye. Time to continue filming as if nothing has happened. After gathering as many clues as I could find, I tried to plant and water the wolf-glove and spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to figure out why it wouldn't work until I finally realised it's because I haven't grown the pixie tears yet. So I hurried back over to the beginning of chapter 3 to attempt to grow the pixie tears. After mashing some old cider apples and adding one more clue, the pixie tear plant was complete. After returning to my wolf-glove, I was able to plant it and water it. It was now a case of checking for the correct wind speed, which was Mount Weisshorn, I don't know if I've pronounced that right, with a wind speed of 40. I then checked the tower wind research book, which told me that I need to have the first floor door partially open, the second and fifth doors closed, and the third and fourth doors fully open. And just like that, we have our wolf-glove and a new gatehouse delivery. After hauling arse back to the gatehouse, I was impressed with myself for remembering how to actually get back to the gatehouse. Mind you, it has been a little while since I've played, but my confidence was quickly shattered as I realised I forgot how to actually pick up a new delivery. It's been that long. Like, this is so embarrassing. What's even more embarrassing was that I was staring at my delivery the whole time and didn't even realise until I YouTubed how to get to the gatehouse and to receive mail. Anyways, it was a message from my sister who had left me the library code. The new code is the 3 initials of her name. Luckily, I had her first name and our family name within the vicinity of me, E and G, so we were just missing the middle initial. I headed back inside the house and luckily I spotted a family tree by the front door. Turns out my sister is actually married, so her surname is now Hopgood. Combined with her first and middle name, we've got the initials EAH. Once I was in the library, I began chapter 4 and checked out the 4 new plants added. I immediately got to work and searched for clues. There are a lot of stories in the library hall which I knew had something to do with the buttons on the bookshelf to the left. After numerous attempts and rereading the short stories, I finally realised that I needed to press the buttons in order of the day, rather than the order of the icons on the button being mentioned in the books. In this secret room was Grandma's vault, which just so happened to have the nightfall seeds that I needed. After discovering that nightfall most likely grows at sunset, I added my clues and headed to the study with the key I'd just acquired to unlock the room. Inside, there was a lot to look at, including the sapphire gloom seeds that I needed and both clues for the plant. Now all I had to do was figure out how to plant it. In all of the clues, it mentioned the tree disease called root parasite, which looked exactly like the tree disease that I have downstairs. Another clue mentioned that mushrooms sometimes like to feed on other trees, so I figured, let's try the sapphire gloom seeds on the tree downstairs. And just like that, we had another plant completed and a new door to unlock now that the tree wasn't blocking the door. And when I was playing this game, I thought, phew, that's an easy plant to figure out, which was a relief. Unfortunately, that is the easiest plant of this chapter. I would say chapter 4 is probably the trickiest. I said chapter 3 was tricky previously, but I hadn't tried chapter 4 yet. This one's tough. But anyways, the result of the disease tree healing and the blossoming was very cute. Anyways, now that I had access to more of the house, I continued to collect clues and figured out that one of these plants needed melodies to grow, but I wasn't sure which plant it would be just yet. I found the key to the attic, which was previously locked, so I headed over there once I had found all the clues in the area I just searched through. In the attic, I found another spot to grow a plant. Looking at my clues, it looked like this would potentially be the growing spot for nightfall, but I needed to gather more clues first. Next, I went into the master bedroom, grabbed the final seed bag for this chapter, and then continued to search for clues. In the bathroom, I found the final location for growing a plant. In the bath, which I wasn't expecting, but I know this mystery plant does require water to grow, so I guess that makes sense. After transforming into a plumber for a minute, I fixed the water pipes, tested the water, and it worked. Now I just needed to figure out what plant actually needs to go there. This is always where I struggle a little bit in this game. I can gather all the clues and I try to put them together the best I can, but there's always ones where I struggle to put them. I think the game would benefit if you are able to reread the clues on your clues page rather than having to run back around the house and then look at the clue to read fully. I think that would be an improvement for the game. Because, I don't know, maybe I just have short-term memory, but I really struggle to remember what the clues are just by looking at the clue sheet. But anyways, after some trial and error, I figured it out. The nightfall needed the colours blue, yellow, orange and red as referred to throughout the fairy and moth-related clues. Once I had the fairy and moth clues removed, I did some moving around with my remaining clues, and I was able to figure out which clues belonged to the cradle fern and which belonged to the brook chalice. It seems the brook chalice is potentially meant to grow in the bath, whilst the cradle fern requires birdsong from the wind chimes upstairs that we saw earlier. At this point, I had a brainwave and realised that this rusty pig in the attic would be useful, as one of the clues mentioned that the brook chalice has the abilities to either feed off or remove rust from the river that they grow in. I was trying to grow the brook chalice earlier and I was so confused as to why it wasn't working. Then I remembered this rusty dude and I was so happy and proud of myself for figuring this out. And wow, was the final result worth it. Look how gorgeous the brook chalice looks. And all that was left was the cradle fern, and looking at my clues, I remembered that the egg pictured in the photo with the cradle fern matched the egg of the crested owl in my bird egg clue. The birdsong's book told me what chimes to hit, and just like that, we had the cradle ferns and had completed chapter 4. For my next gatehouse delivery, I was given the key to my formal garden, which unlocks the 5th and final chapter, Climbing Up. The first seeds I found were the spring dance shrubs, along with 2 clues about Morse code. I was unsure which plants these would be relevant for, but for now I put them in the clues section of the only seed I'd found so far. After being jump scared by a cute bird, I know, don't judge me, I scare easily, I found some more clues and a key to the boathouse. Then I found the fool's emerald seed, followed by 2 clues with the mention of fool's emerald and the chemical they emit called luciferin. Next, I ventured into a very pretty area. I mean, look how picture perfect this place is, and then I followed the path down until I reached the boathouse. I will say I got quite lucky here and I filled in the correct clues for the ocelot seed before I even found the seeds. I don't know if I did that right, maybe I went around the room in reverse, but I did find the seeds straight afterwards and started the process of trial and error to get these seeds to bloom. Judging by the clues, it looked like I needed to place something in a phonograph that resembled the beats per minute of a sleeping insect. But when looking at one of the clues, there was no mention of a sleeping insect, only domestic and wild animals. I figured it's got to be one of these phonographs here. I had 1/5 of a chance to get it right. First try, nope. Second try, nope. Third try, nope. And on the fourth try, I got it. And would you look at that? The plant's dancing. Oh my gosh, how cute. I was a little bit stumped at this point because I was still missing 4 clues when I was convinced that I'd searched all the new areas. I then remember the random handlebar thingy that I picked up a while ago, and I figured it must be useful for something. After consulting with the YouTube video, I know, I'm sorry, I brought it back to the beginning area to refill this pond. When this created a path for me, I literally said out loud, no freaking way, because let me tell you, if there's one thing I love, it's a secret entrance, and bonus points if the entrance is extra cozy like this. Oh boy, was it dark in here. I was really squinting to look around, but it didn't take me too long to realise that this must be the growing spot for the Fool's Emerald plants. After searching through the areas again, I found some extra clues like the bird poster and information on pH levels. I also saw online that if you open the telegraph and type SOS in Morse code, you get an achievement, so that's pretty fun. I had to do that. At this point, I had all my clues, so I was kind of switching around the spare clues I had. I knew that some clues definitely belonged to the Fool's Emerald, all the Morse code related ones, and the bioluminescence clue. Once I'd put all the pieces together, I was given the context that soldiers saw this Fool's Emerald plant inside a dark cave, and the plant responded to them when they used Morse code. After typing in KA in the Morse code, as it mentioned in the clues, I got the Fool's Emerald plant to bloom, and wow did it look cool! I didn't expect it to grow so much, it just kept growing and growing. With another plant ticked off, I was left with one more plant, the Spring Dance shrub. After filling in the final clue, I went back to the mini potting shed to find the right pot. I needed the sandstone pot as it suited the right pH balance that we needed for the soil. We needed seaweed to put into the soil, so once I'd done that, I planted the seed and placed the pot in another area of the formal garden. This final part of the game was super fun and a great way to end off the final plant in our book. Using the 2 bird feeders, I needed to lead this robin towards the spring dance shrub to pollinate it so that it could grow. I was super careful, maybe a little bit too careful, like I probably didn't need to walk all the way around the edge of the garden. If I scared the robin and it flew back to its birdhouse, I knew it wasn't the end of the world, but I really wanted to try this in one go. And I managed to do it, and I was very pleased with myself in this moment, as you can see. A final gatehouse call took me back to the starting point of the game, and just like that, I posted my completed book. In a short epilogue after the credits, I learnt that my herbarium didn't get picked up for publishing, which is an absolute joke because you've just seen how hard we worked for this. But on the plus side, it seems that I've turned Botany Manor into a botanical academy with a small group of students to study my book. And just like that, I'd reached the end of the game. Overall, I really enjoyed Botany Manor. The visuals were obviously a standout, and combined with the beautiful music composed by Thomas Williams, I was glued to the screen. The playtime was short and sweet, with the notebook's chapters and map being a great way to guide the player through the story. However, if you're looking for a cozy game to wind down to and you're not wanting to use your brain too much, I probably wouldn't recommend this game. It is, after all, a puzzle game, and the clues can be tricky to match up sometimes, especially as you can't reread the clues in your clue sheet. If you want to refer back to a clue, you need to go back to wherever you found the clue, which can be frustrating. However, if you're looking for a cozy game that will test your brain, Botany Manor is the perfect game for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I am aware that I haven't posted for a very long time. That is, I kind of covered it a little bit earlier in the video, but it is kind of due to burnout from my current job that is very social media and YouTube heavy. So after my 9 till 5, a lot of the time I just didn't feel like, getting on my computer, playing a game. I just wanted to relax, But yeah, I really want to get back into YouTube. I'm starting to post shorts, so please feel free to check those out. But yeah, I want to get back into my cozy gameplays, so thank you so much if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. I really appreciate you, and I will see you soon.